I think it's a bit sad in a way that, so few people now build models. Youngsters I'm talking about, not, people my age or, adults. But I mean, that was what most of us did when we were youngsters. We had, put it, toys that we had to have an input into, before they would do anything. Whereas now kids just sit and plonk on a button in front of a computer, which is, I think, is sad.
Yeah.
That's all they can do with their lives. I suppose in one way it's fine if they want to make a living out of whatever they call it, IT, but there'll have to be more to life than that. Pressing buttons on a keyboard. Well, I used to be inside building me models, and as soon as it was built, it was out to fly it. Always model aeroplanes. Must have built dozens and dozens and dozens of them.
How long has it been since you used your workshop?
Around 5 years.
What made you stop?
Reason? By the time I get out there, I'm out of breath. Never mind do anything when I get there.
What happened with the opal?
Initially, it was lack of time. And then, like I say, when I got that I could no longer do any work, that was it. It was to finish.
What were you doing
It'll eventually be towed away for scrap, I suppose. Yeah, I'm quite sad about that, but what else can I do? Oh, I suppose 15, 16 to about 20, 21.
Why?
Oh, just when I enjoyed myself the most, I think. There always seemed to be something to do and, something to be hopeful for. That the next day might be better than the previous day and, there was hope then. And yes, life was fun, it was enjoyable. Shortage of money, mind, but, generally speaking, it was enjoyable. He was a nice bloke. He could help somebody, he would. Very fond of me father. Although we used to argue like hell when I was younger. Even fight at one stage. But it never used to last long. We usually end up down in the pub together later. He was tremendously strong. Colossally strong. He could have entered world's strongest man, I think. No, I really mean tremendously strong. He used to be able to put his arm out of the side of his armchair. And my first wife, Sylvia, could sit on his hand and he could pick her up like that, turn her around and hold it right up above his head. This with one hand, without getting up out of his chair. He was tremendously strong. My mother used to have P Series Rover. Rover 90, I think. And one day she wanted to go somewhere, and she came screaming back in the house. She had a flat tyre. One of her back tyres was flat. So my father and I went out there, and we couldn't find the jack to jack the car up. So he went and got a couple of pieces of rag, undid the wheel nuts with the car just still sitting on the ground, got the spare wheel out, put it by the side of the one that had to be changed, and said, right, make this quick. When I lift the car up, you take the wheel off and put the new one on. So he lifted the car up. Right, the whole back of the car right up off the ground. He just grabbed hold of the back bumper and lifted it. I thought, God, you are strong. Well, you never recover from it at all. Not a question of fully recover. You never recover. It gradually gets worse and worse and worse. It's not something that you say, well, you know, if I take this medicine for so long, I'll get a bit better. You don't. You never get better. You only get worse. It's all that can ever happen.
Like, what do you want to do?
Well, it's not really a question of what I want to do anymore. It's a question of what can I do? And the answer is nothing. I need somebody to look after me. You know, to do all the things I can't do. Which is very annoying because the brain still works. If the body doesn't. I regret very much becoming ill to the point that I have. Simply because it stopped me doing anything else. I mean, I looked forward to retirement, to being able to build my models in peace. But it never happened. Long before I retired, I was too ill to do anything. So that's probably my biggest single regret now. But we all do what we do at the time for whatever reason. You can't go back and redo it.
What do you want?
Do you want me to be totally honest?
Yes.
To
Yes.
die of something else other than what I've got the matter with me now. Because I know what dying from what I've got now is like from other people. You know, seeing them. And I do not want to die that way. I'd rather die of something else. Whatever it might be. I mean, now I sort of live in memories, if you like. You know, what I used to do, or what I have done. Because I can't think anymore about what I want to do, because wanting to do something is just not on. It doesn't happen. Like I say, I actually look forward to retiring and building models and various other things. I'd taking you lot to Scotland and leaning on the wall where I used to lean when I was a youngster, looking over the sea. So I spent hours there, leaning on the wall, looking out to sea, watching the paddle steamers coming in and going out. And I'm afraid that's beyond